Wow, it feels like we've been talking about these for eons. The Glow Racers are finally here, hitting Target stores in the US as of September of 2023. Retail for $6.49 a pop. That's kind of crazy. We're going to talk about as the video goes on if they're worth that price. I'm not convinced. Obviously, I bought them to review for you guys, but I don't know. That's kind of a lot. And yeah, we have been talking about these for a long time. They were announced in February of this year, and of course we got the Mack truck, we got a couple play sets with the plastic versions here in July, and now we are finally getting the singles, which I'm very excited about. Like, it's great to have an expanded universe line, as in something outside of the movies and the show, and it feels like Mattel is putting in the effort into the series by doing play sets, a Mack, and then they're going to be doing multiple waves of singles. We know that there will be Jackson Storm, Ramone, Ryan Inside Laney, Fillmore, and some others all released as singles, so that is pretty exciting. I think there's even more on top of that, like Reverham, kind of crazy stuff. And yeah, guys, we're going to talk about all the good stuff. We're going to figure out if they actually glow in the dark as it advertises as well. I've struggled with these other ones from the line here, so we'll see if the die casts are any better, because yes, these are metal. They are die cast metal, unlike these plastic ones from the play set. So yeah, guys, I could not have rushed home faster to record this video. I'm actually one of the first people in the entire world to find these. I believe I'm the second person in the US to report of finding them at a store. My buddy actually just a couple towns north of me found them earlier today. He only found Cruz, I think, and that tipped me off. So I checked out a couple Targets. First one didn't have it. The second one did. I was absolutely exuberant, and thankfully they had all three of them, so I was able to do this video. So let's just get right on into it and not waste any more time, because I'd like to get this video out as soon as possible. It would be pretty cool to turn that around. But yeah, I like the packaging for these. I always have wished that some of these expanded universe lines had unique individual art for each release, and a lot of them do, like, you know, the XRS Mud Racers, Drag Racers, but the Thomasville, the Fireball Beach ones, they did not, you know. And here we are with the Glow Racers now. Also, another example would be NASCAR and Endurance. They did not have individual art. Like, one size fits all, basically. You got one card back or one card, and that's on every single. And so I kind of wish they would change it up for this one and do art for each of them. And they totally could, because here is Lightning McQueen's art. So they have one checked off, and then they just needed to do Mater and Cruz. But oh well, it still looks really cool. I like the background. It's simple. But the best thing about these is that they stand out so well. Like, when I came to the aisle, I could spot them from a mile away, because everything else is kind of like a brighter color. It's that red. And then you get this dark blue, very visceral tone. Really a big fan of it. I love how the lights have the motion blur on the McQueen there. Great artwork, even though it is just a Photoshop of pre-existing art. It looks great. You know, they were able to neonify his decals and make them look very cool, and hopefully the diecast reflects that. He looks really good with a new expression for Rust-eze McQueen. And then, yeah, the name tags are back. These have traditional blisters, unlike what we've gotten used to from the, you know, main line. Let me show you guys an example. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but the streamline blisters, where they're all form-fitting to the specific car you have, but these are just straight-up rectangular prisms. And they include actual physical name tags instead of the name tags just being on the card itself. So it feels a little retro. Like, this feels like something from 2020 or literally 2020 or prior to that. Honestly, it feels like almost a 2018 series, because it's very Cars 3 centric. Glow in the dark, Bria en la oscuridad. Love it. I like the Glow Racers logo there, incorporating the piston cup. That's pretty cool. Tugging on our heartstrings. They know what's up. They know we love the piston cup. And on the back, you could see Cruz Ramirez and Mater. It's kind of interesting that they did like a crew chief Mater for this series, but I guess they are playing on the idea that this is a race, and they want to include Mater, but they also want it to make sense. They don't want to just do the, you know, regular Mater and make him glowified. they want to make him like a crew chief to McQueen during the race. And I like that. Like, it actually feels like they're building a little bit of story, even if a book, and obviously a short will never come out, but even if like a book or a magazine doesn't come out, and I doubt it will. Yeah, again, glows in the dark. We get it. Hopefully it actually looks as cool as these, because they look great. I mean, these are some great stock images that really will sell you on this line. I mean, they look fantastic. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's like a ghost. That's almost like Mallory Carhut, how green she is. But we'll see if she actually looks like that. I mean, Cruz, it looks like every part of her glows, whereas with Mater and McQueen, only the lime green parts or yellow parts do. But yeah, very cool packaging. I give them an A, not an A+, because if they had individual art, that would put it over the edge. But really solid packaging. Looks really cool. And then here we have Mater. Mate. Haven't seen too many images of him outside of the package. I feel like when they started to have been found, let's try that again. When they started to be found in Europe, most people were only finding Cruz and Mater. Like, I don't really remember anyone finding, or no, Cruz and McQueen. I don't remember anyone finding Mater. So I almost thought they got pushed around, or the international version of the case didn't have him. And I'm not really sure if that ended up being true or not. Whatever it is, maybe some people just didn't find them. Mater is in the first case for sure. Like, the case A I revealed back in June or whatever it was is 100% accurate. Although I do have some bad news about case D. It got canceled. But don't worry, case E makes up for it. Anyways, there's McQueen's stock image, so they do kind of switch him around here on the back. But other than that, everything is identical. Here's Cruz. So Mater got it. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Like, I'm talking crazy right now. I was combining a couple words there, as I tend to do. But by the way, guys, Mater will be the rarest in this first wave, because there's only one in the case, I think. And when I was at the store, there were 3 McQueens, 1 Mater, and 2 Cruzes. Although I thought these were supposed to be cases of 8, not 6. But either way, guys, if you see Mater and you want him, don't hesitate, because out of all these, he will be the rarest. And I feel like Cruz might peg warm just because she looks so similar to the regular version of her. Like, I'm sure she's different. And oh wow, the name tag is like a whole block down here. It's like a whole patch instead of just the sliver. But anyways, yeah, Cruz looks very similar to her, just original release here. So I'm a little concerned for her in terms of sell ability. But what is actually pretty cool about these is that the name tags are different colors based on the car you have. I just noticed that. So Cruz's here is yellow and red. McQueen's was green and red. Not really sure why. And then Mater's is pretty much the same as Cruz's, actually. Yeah, they are the same. So that's kind of strange, but really cool stuff, guys. Like, again, I really am a fan of these packagings. Cruz has got a nice big crease through it. So you know what that means, guys. It's time to rip these open. I'll be right back. Here we are out of the package. They look really good. Although it's kind of weird that Mater has a matte finish and the other two have glossy finishes. It just seems a little bit incongruous, but whatever. Both finishes look good. Like, I would be okay if McQueen had a matte finish. I'd be okay if Mater had a glossy finish. But yeah, it's actually kind of funny. I ordered the full case, the case A of this, from GetMeCollectibles. I was going to do a case unboxing, but obviously that video will not happen at this point. Kind of crazy. I never would have expected me to find these. It's like one of my buddies found them up north, and I was just like, all right, let me check out a couple stores, and bam, there they were. Got super lucky, and it's the same store I found the full case L at with Randy and Squad and Breaker Boggs, which I have not found anywhere else. And not to mention, the same store tonight with these had a full case, I think it's like L or something from last year, with Damage King. That's right, I actually found a damaged king on the pegs today, which marks the first time I ever found him on the pegs, even though he's over a year old at this point. And also, I found a Fred on the pegs, who I had not found last year, so a really good night for me. And I also found Maddie McGear, which you guys probably don't care about, but the 2022 single of Maddie is quite rare. So anyways, there is nothing to show you guys in terms of imagery from the media because they are not from a book, magazine, short, etc. yet. Maybe, I could see maybe a magazine coming out, but we'll have to just, play the waiting game with that. So let's just start with McQueen here. I have the plastic version I want to compare him to, and I also have just the regular Rust-eze McQueen, the non-glow version of him. I also have the neon McQueen that they did long ago now, 10 years ago, actually, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I just first want to comment that they gave him a new expression, and you guys know what's my rule. If the expression is looking off to a side, that makes it so much better. It gives it so much more vitality, gives it so much more character. And yeah, they were listening to my prayers and did that for McQueen. It's not the best expression in the world, but something different goes a long way. I have to say, the glow or the glossy finish just looks really sharp. But yeah, it's kind of like they simplified the decals. Like you could see a lot more colors. Here you have the orange, the dark red, the brighter red, and all that. Here they just made the Rust-eze text yellow. They made the back, the bolt and this smaller bolt up here yellow as well. They made the side bolts yellow. So they just kind of simplified everything down. Either it's red or it's yellow. There is a little bit of dark red back there, but for the most part, I think in terms of making it easy for the parts to glow for the segments, they just simplified the colors. But I do love these yellow tires. They look great. Red wheels. No Lightyear text, which is kind of weird. It's like you'd expect him to have it, and he does. I'm totally cool with that, but it just kind of throws you off at the start. S29A means these were made during the 29th week of this year at the A factory in Thailand. Copyrighted in 2021. Kind of a weird copyright date, actually. Like, what's so special about that? I don't know. Were they conceiving this series all the way back then? I don't know. But it seems like his headlights are just decals now, whereas before there was an imprintation there, a little bit of a divot. The mouth is a little shorter, so that's also been changed. Let's take a look at the contingency sponsors and see how clear they are. Piston Cup, Octane Gain, RPM, Revolting, and Clutch A. They don't look great by any stretch of the imagination. The regular version from China looks so much better, but it's kind of what we've come to accept. And then we got the same type of treatment in terms of making all the decals yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Looks pretty cool. Like, even if this didn't glow in the dark, like, it's a pretty cool alternative paint job. I really do actually like these yellow stripes that they added onto the roof as well, between the signatures and the numbers. They didn't do that before. I really kind of wonder why they put those on there. But it looks cool. Like, I'll take it. You have Rust-eze on the spoiler in yellow. The windows are now this like opaque instead of the transparent black where you can see through, but you're just looking at the interior pace. That's why you don't see anything. And they moved the Rust-eze decal down from between the taillights to the bumper and made it much bigger. And yeah, you still got the 95 on there, but it looks like it's in white now. Not even the yellow. It's kind of cool. The bolts here tying down the spoiler are yellow. Lots of yellow pieces, like parts of the taillights yellow. Gas cap. Really cool. Yeah, a really nice alternative paint job, if nothing else. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's McQueenski. Only differences between this and the plastic version, plastic version has green tires, which is kind of cool. Again, like another alternative paint job. And then more like very light grayish green decals. So yeah, it really is almost like a couple different paint jobs here. Like, I think Jackson will be very similar to his diecast when that comes out in the next wave or so. Although actually, yeah, I don't know. All the cases for this got really jumbled. So I don't know. I really hope the next wave comes out with Jackson soon because I really like how he looks. I also did want to show you the NASCAR McQueen because I feel like they fit into the same category right now. Although it is important to note that the NASCAR line, all of them were made in Vietnam, whereas all of these will be made in Thailand. And so that's why you have the eye plate there as a separate piece from the main metal body. But yeah, they are kind of similar in terms of they lean on the Rust-eze design of McQueen instead of the Cars 3 like ending design or the Rust-eze Racing Center. And you could tell, you know, you got the Rust-eze there, Rust-eze there. And also, this will come into play with Mater because we'll compare the NASCAR Mater to the Glow one here because they kind of, you know, derive from the same energy. Let's take a look at Cruz here, who I think will be my least favorite just because she's not super different as we talked about. But her shade of yellow is a very creamy, a very pure shade. And I must say, I'm really digging it. Like, again, from a distance, doesn't look much different. Like yellow, blue. Yep, that's Cruz. But actually, it is quite different, as you can see here. And man, I'm really digging. Like, it's a very nice, creamy, almost like a Laffy Taffy banana flavored color that I'm a big fan of. She's also got the yellow tires here. S30, so she was made a week after McQueen. Blue wheels. Again, you have a slightly different expression. Similar mouth, but the eyes, you know, she's raising her left eyebrow a bit there, which is kind of cool. She doesn't have the metallic blue decals, but I think that's because of the whole glow factors. It looks like they removed her contingency sponsors, which is an interesting choice. Like you can see, the bottom here is just blank before the exhaust pipes, whereas here you have the next-gen contingency sponsors. So it's kind of weird that they just removed them, but they kept them on McQueen. We'll see what they do with Jackson Storm. Maybe it's because they were in like a weird place down there. I guess, yeah, they kept them on Jackson. We have the plastic version here. Interesting. Wonder if the plastic version of Cruz has them, because there is another playset that has a plastic McQueen, Cruz, and Ramone. So, yeah, it'd be cool. I should probably get that at some point. You got the roof flaps there. Big old dino coming around the fender looking ferocious, even though he's a plant-eating dinosaur. Nice little herbivore dino. Nice little, I don't know. They haven't named that dino yet, even though it's at Dino Park. Like, this kind of dino is at the Dino Park. And that's like one that was only like seen outside, like by the gate. And so no one ever talked about it. It's such a neglected dino, honestly. They really need to name that one. She doesn't have her rookie racing stripes anymore, obviously, because she is no longer a rookie. Like, I mean, she's 6 years removed from it. Yeah, I think it really blends nicely, the creamy yellow with the light blue. The spoiler is like a very light yellow, like almost see-through. It looks that faint. Good stuff, though. I like the blue window bars right there. It's kind of nice. All right, let's take a look at Mate now, aka Mater, who I think will be my favorite just because of how crazy he looks. He also has, again, yet another new expression, which is great to see. So this is the Cars 2 Race Team Mater with headset, which is probably, you know, it's a pretty good comparison, but we also have the NASCAR version of him. Again, though, from Vietnam. Both of them have, or, you know, introduced new expressions to Mater. It's kind of cool that they have different headsets, all black for NASCAR versus the gray and black look for the Glow one. The models are pretty similar. Kind of like weird, though. It's black on the inside of his mouth. Like, Mater, what have you been munching on? Why is the inside of your mouth black? Yellow engine there. Looks a little weird. You got the yellow tires. A red base. Look at that. A cherry red base. S30A. It's got a nice Rust-eze logo across the side of him. Something we really haven't seen before on Mater. Because even the NASCAR version just had a small Rust-eze logo. And also, the Vietnam version made this whole back portion plastic. But now, because it's Thailand, all of this is die-cast metal. Obviously, this part's plastic, but this is all die-cast. Like, this is a hefty car. I'm not sure if it's $6.49 hefty, but definitely more so than Mater and Cruz, or Cruz and McQueen, I would say. But yeah, you can kind of move the headset around a little bit. A113 license plate still there. I'm glad they got rid of this little slit. Like, see that little slit? So stupid. Like, why did they have that there? Like, it makes no sense at all. So I'm glad they got rid of that. And that has to do with it all being die cast as well. But yeah. Does it make sense, like, if this was from a show, to have his entire towing cables system apparatus back here glow in the dark? I don't know, but it looks pretty cool. Like, it serves as a nice contrast. And yeah, these two look great together. Although, again, it is a tad bit jarring that one's glossy and one's matte. I still can't get my head around that. Like, why did they do Mater in matte? I don't know, guys. What also looks a little weird is how, again, like some of these crevices, and we talked about this in my Randy review, but some of these crevices on the Thailand cars are not getting painted properly. Like, see right there how grainy it looks compared to how smooth this looks? It's because these crevices are not, like, the sprayers or whatever they use are not able to get into these crevices well. So it's honestly really disappointing. Some cars have them, some cars don't, but yeah, it's very noticeable. Like, look at how weird that looks along the edges here. I mean, that just kind of looks disgusting. It looks like it's eroded. But I like his new expression. Overall, I'd give Mater like an 8 out of 10, McQueen a 6.5, and Cruz like probably a 6 as well. But I guess I shouldn't get too ahead of myself. We still need to see how they glow in the dark. A major difference, a lot of people think like glow racers, neon racers. What really is the difference? Well, the neon racers were not ever meant to glow in the dark, like not a single bit. They were meant to kind of look like it though, because they have very bright decals, especially like it almost looks like a neon sign type of decal on the darker colors. But yeah, it was the start of like the Transcontinental Race of Champions series, where there was just a theme, whether it be neon, ice, carbon, or carnival, or silver, that every racer had that paint job for. But yeah, they were not meant to glow in the dark or anything. So it's a very different series, and they're using completely different characters. Like, I doubt, I could pretty much say with certainty, there will not be a single World Grand Prix racer in this line. But yeah, guys, it's now integral that we actually test out, how do they glow in the dark? Am I going to have to shine a light on them like this and test them that way?